everybody to Indy County Sports, the official MoCo football podcast. This week we got a great lineup. I mean, this is going to be a classic show. We got the great Joe Rankin, Seneca Valley, great Seneca Valley legend, Morgan State player right now, coming on the show, joining the show. We got the great Frazier, also a Damascus legend, coming on the show, talking about that Damascus Sherwood game. We got Reighard, the starting quarterback for the Seneca Valley Screaming Eagles. He's coming on the show, having a great season right now. And we also got Fitz Mofor coming back on the show. Really appreciate everything he's doing now. And also we got the great Matt Miller coming on, giving that great insight to us. Tune in. We're going to have a lot to talk about. You know, there were some upsets last week. Great games this week. MoCo football's on a high. Make sure you check out, the Shoot Fashion. Make sure you check out Kingdom Yards Productions, MoCoFootball.com, and, enjoy the show. Got Matt Miller back on for another week. First and foremost, Matt, we went out to the Churchill Seneca Valley game. It was a really good game, probably the first good game we've seen all year in person. Talk about your thoughts about the game. Churchill played them really, really close. I didn't drop Churchill at all in my rankings. I still have them 4. Just talk about that game. Talk about, Seneca pulling away at the end and what you learned about both teams.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game. It was back and forth. Churchill controlled the clock, and they were able to run the ball basically at will against Seneca. But when push came to shove, Seneca scored and made the big plays, and they left with a big victory. Churchill's a solid team. They run an option offense, and they've got a smart quarterback who's capable of running, and then they have a couple good running backs who can find holes and do some damage. They control the clock, they get first downs, and they just like to eat away at it. Unfortunately for them, when they get behind, they don't have much of an aerial attack to come back. But I was very impressed with Churchill overall. Even though they lost, I didn't drop them either. I actually had them at 5 last week.
Mm-hmm.
My rankings, and they stayed right there. I think they're probably right now I've got them as the third best team in the 4A behind Quince Orchard and Sherwood.
Mm-hmm.
Sherwood plays up in the North playoffs, so that won't affect Churchill's rankings. But in the 4A West, I think they're the second best team behind Quince Orchard.
Right.
Now I don't think they're close to Quince Orchard, but they've still got 5 more weeks or 6 more weeks to figure things out. So the game was great. It was one of the better ones we've been to, back and forth. James Jones-Williams put on a show for Seneca Valley. He had, almost, I think, close to 200 yards.
Right.
Rushing, 2 touchdowns, and he played big. And Seneca Valley, now that 4-0 win sets up a great game this upcoming week against undefeated 4-0 Quince Orchard. That should be fun.
James Jones-Williams really did his thing and, took it upon himself to really carry the team. Kid's a war. He loves wearing the Seneca Valley uniform, loves wearing those colors, and he really showed it that game. And, he does anything that the team asks him to do to win the games. And, I remember after the game he was saying, whatever he has to do, whether he has to play fullback or whatever the case may be, whether he has to share the load with twos or whatever the case may be, he's going to do it. And, a kid like that, you can't help but respect him. Really, honestly, like you said, Churchill, outside of a few big plays, they really controlled the clock and kind of dominated that game, in my opinion, for the most part. Seneca is a really explosive team this year, with twos and James Jones and other kids that they got on the outside. And, Calvin Reighard is really playing at a high level right now. Now, what do you think about the Damascus Sherwood game? Damascus has really played at a high level this season. Rashard Budd has really been the catalyst in allowing a lot of the things that they're doing a lot of the things that they're doing on defense to happen, with, taking up 2 blockers, things like that. And, I've heard that, at times he's almost unblockable. Seeing a little bit of tape on them. They're very fast, very physical defense. And then now you look at the Sherwood side of things, you got great athletes over there too. How do you think Sherwood really matches up with Damascus, and what kind of game are you expecting out of both teams?
Yeah, I mean, Damascus has been dominant all season. They might have the best defense in the entire county. If they don't, it's second to only Quince Orchard. And
right.
I mean, it's going to be a good game. I mean, it's a rivalry game. There's there's the whole Al Thomas situation from a couple years back where he left Sherwood to go up to Damascus, and he's going back to his old stomping grounds. That always makes things a little more interesting. I think the key for Sherwood really in this game is going to be to run Moses Vines. He's kind of exploded on the scene recently. I think he's top 2 or 3 in the county in rushing right now.
Yeah.
He's had a couple big games. I've seen him. I believe I've seen him twice now, and he's an impressive runner. I mean, Damascus hasn't allowed runner to go over 100 yards this season. I mean, they didn't. I wouldn't say they shut down Khalil Wilson of Einstein last week, but they did hold him under 100 yards, and they shut out the Einstein offense. So
right.
Pretty much as close as you get to shutting down a player and a team. The key for Damascus is just to play their game. I mean, they've got a more talented team. Some people would say they're the better coach team.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think Damascus, even though they're traveling to Sherwood, they've got to be favorites. And I just don't see Sherwood's offense putting up many points against Damascus defense. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Damascus wins this game by 2 touchdowns or more.
Right. And I'm sure Sherwood would like to keep Richie DePietro in the box, because I think that's where he's best at. To be honest with you, in the box, mixing it up, getting tackles in there. We'll see. I think Sherwood beat them last year, so they have that confidence going with them. They're returning most of those kids that won last year. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. It's really whatever team doesn't really make the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, football is such a game of turnovers. I mean, Damascus is just so talented all over the field, in the backfield, on the line,
right,
outside, on defense, at every position. There's talent everywhere on that team. It's practically like an all-star team. I mean,
right.
But I just really think that they're just too much for Sherwood. And honestly, I think Sherwood could give them a test. It'll be a good game for them. But I just don't think Sherwood has the horses to keep up. I think
right.
Sherwood might last they play tough like they did against Quince Orchard. They could keep it close. But,
right.
I could see Damascus winning easily and winning big.
Mm-hmm.
They're that talented.
Talking about Sherwood and Damascus, they're obviously in the top 8. Not really much movement this week. Just to run it down, it's QO at number 1, of course, Damascus number 2, Seneca Valley at number 3, Churchill at number 4, Sherwood at number 5, Northwest at number 6, Paint Branch at number 7, and Blake at number 8. Now, let's talk about first and foremost the Paint Branch thing. Obviously, they had a devastating loss to Blake last week. We saw them versus QO. I don't know if it's one of those situations where they let, a game beat them twice. But, they came out versus Blake and really laid the egg. And, they have a really good coaching staff over there. They have really good people over there. And they do have talent. But it just seems like they let, loss beat them twice. I think that the QO loss kind of got into their head and got into their preparation. And I think that, they probably took Blake lightly, and, they ended up losing. So they dropped a little bit. Blake actually moves up because of it. So talk about that real quick. Talk about, why you have Blake at number 8 and Paint Branch and their struggles real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Paint Branch struggles are just surprising to me. I mean, they've got a talented quarterback, Gaston Cooper. I mean, they've got talented offensive players. Defense, they did lose some players from last year, and they really just don't have much of a running game. But for them to only put up 3 points is surprising.
Right.
And even to lose to Blake, I mean, somebody on the message board this week said this could be Blake's biggest win in the history of their football program, and
right.
that might very well be true. I mean, it's a rivalry game. I'm sure most people thought Paint Branch was going to run over Blake, but
right.
Blake was impressive. I mean, they've been impressive 2 straight weeks, and that's why I had them at number 8 this week. And I actually dropped Paint Branch out because of their loss to Blake.
Right.
With Blake, their last 2 weeks they've beaten a pretty good Watkins Mill team, and they've beaten Paint Branch. And some people were trying to convince me to put Poolesville ahead of Blake, and slide Poolesville on at the 8th spot. But my logic was pretty simple. I mean, Watkins Mill just absolutely destroyed Poolesville in week 1. I think by 30 plus points.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake beat Watkins Mill by almost 10 points. So
right.
It just the logic was pretty it just made sense. I looked at common opponents and who the opponents that each team has played, and I mean Blake's they're proving that last year's they won 7 games, I believe, was a fluke. I mean they narrowly missed out on the playoffs, and this year if you look at their schedule the rest of the way, they might have they have Wheaton, and then at Wooten, Seneca Valley, at Blair, at Springbrook, and Einstein. I mean, they could. I mean, Seneca Valley would. I don't know if they'll be able to get by them, but they could easily win. 5 out of 6 of the rest of the games and end up with 7 wins again.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the 4A North, so I don't know if 7 wins probably won't be enough. You usually have to get at least 8.
Right.
9 is probably the best bet, but
right.
I could see them going 6-4 or 7-3 again.
I'm really happy with the top 8. This week, Walter Johnson and Poolesville are also teams that was considered. I think Poolesville got 5 votes. Walter Johnson, obviously they had that loss to Magruder, which almost seems inexplicable right now.
Right.
But I mean they're not a bad team. They're not a bad team at all. I mean they got a really good defense. They got really good athletes. But that loss to Magruder is really holding them back right now. That's a really bad loss. Poolesville, they got blasted by Watkins Mill early on, and like you said, Blake's looking at a 6-4, 7-3 season again. And let me make it clear, I don't have any problem with Paint Branch still being in there. Just looking at the playoff pictures coming to a head and everything like that. Which teams do you think that are really, just looking at the schedules and everything like that, which teams do you think are really going to make a push themselves for comfortably for playoff spots, other than, the Damascuses and the Woes? And which teams do you think might falter a little bit and not make a playoff spot that we all thinking or all assuming that they will?
I mean, as of now, if we're looking at let's start in the 4A West. I mean, there's it's very top heavy there. I think same teams are still the best teams. Like we said, Quince Orchard is head and shoulders above everyone else there. But I think Churchill is actually probably the second best team. Like we said, we saw them this week, and they were impressive. They don't make playoffs so strong. I expected to grab the number 2 seed there. After that, it's pretty much a toss-up. I mean, it could be it could be anyone. I mean, I could see I'm sure Northwest will bounce back and probably sneak in there at the 3 seed. And the 4 seed, it's anybody's game. I mean, it could be Walter Johnson. I mean, I could see even somebody like Richard Montgomery. With their schedule, they're 2-2 now. I mean, they should be 3-1. They had a heartbreaking loss against Williamsburg in week 1, and then another loss in week 2 that everybody thought they should have won, Poolesville. But their schedule the rest of the way easily sets up for 4 to 5 wins. They've got Kennedy, Wheaton, Quince Orchard. Then after that, it's Magruder, Rockville, Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Quince Orchard, everybody's going to, believe that the Cougars are going to prevail there. But,
right.
Other than Northwest, their rest of the schedule, I think they'd be the favorites in every game. So, they win 4 or 5 more, and they have 6 or 7 wins. They can sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they'll, how far they'll go in the playoffs, but just the job that Coach Owens has done there, Rich Montgomery has been great. His first year, a couple years back, they were 0-10,
mm-hmm.
5-5, and then possibly 6 or 7 wins this year is a big step.
Right.
You head to the 4A North. I think realistically, like you said, the Paint Branch loss is a big loss for them. I don't know. 4A North with all those Baltimore teams, you've got to win.
Yeah.
9 games.
9. Yeah.
You have, I think 9 games in Montgomery County is safe, with all the bonus points and whatnot. But
right.
I don't think we have a team in the North that can. I think Sherwood, might get to 8 this season. I don't know if they'll get 9. That would mean they go undefeated the rest of the way.
Right.
When they have teams like Damascus coming this week. But I could see Sherwood and maybe Laker Paint Branch trying to get in there. It's going to be tough, but Sherwood might be the only team from Montgomery County in the North.
Right.
So it's going to be tough. It looks like our only contender in the 4A might just come out of the West.
Right. Right. Well, man, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for stopping by again. Thanks for calling in. And hopefully, if I don't see you, we're probably going to be split up this week, but definitely I'll let you know what's going on at the Sherwood game, and you let me know what's going on in the Kewell game. And next week we can come back and compare notes, talk about what we saw. We're here with Joe Rankin, a great player from Seneca Valley High School, now at Morgan State University. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great. Just talk about playing at a school like Seneca Valley. Obviously you were a great player there with all the tradition, all of the, the great players that played there along with yourself, all the championships and things like that. And, either the pressure or the honor of playing at a school like that.
It was definitely legendary. You don't get an experience like that, across this nation. In my eyes, it definitely prepared me for college. We did things that, other high schools, within the county were not doing. Just the standards and the expectations to being champions every year, was really groomed into each student athlete every single year. I was under Coach Kim. He took me in, and my defensive coach who worked with me was Coach Kikuchi.
Right.
Really helped fine-tune my skills out there in the secondary. But it was definitely legendary. Just the things that were brought to our table, the discipline, the attitude, and, the sacrifice that was being committed, to be made day in and day out. It definitely prepared me for the next level college, and it definitely helped me become the athlete I am today playing at Seneca Valley High School.
Obviously, the Kewell rivalry is not, when it comes on to the hatred between the two schools, is not as big as Seneca Valley versus Northwest or Seneca Valley versus Damascus. But talk about the atmosphere of having a big game, at Seneca Valley High School.
Big games up there at Seneca Valley. For one, we treat every game as a big game. When I was playing up there at Seneca, every game was a big game, man. But I tell you, when we played at home Friday night under the lights, the school did a fantastic job of getting the entire student body out to the games. That's one thing I loved about Seneca Valley, that we always had a packed stand, a packed stadium.
Right.
And that definitely was a 13th man out there for us. And, rivalries, when I was playing, it was against Damascus. And both games were very intense. When we played Damascus, for the homecoming, I believe there was over 2,000 people out there. There was a death the night before, so everything was just going haywire, and that game was crazy. But
Right.
we have a lot of big rivalries. I mean, a lot of schools, within the county want to beat Seneca Valley, just because of the tradition we have up there. But the coaches, really brought that intensity, especially when it was down to that rivalry game. I mean, everyone really tuned in and tuned up, and got ready to dominate.
Right.
Because every game it was about dominating, not taking it easy on our opponent or the people in those opposite jerseys.
Right.
So, man, those Friday nights under our lights over at the Valley Death, the Eagles Nest, I mean, it has numerous names out there in Seneca Valley. I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, probably one of the best experiences of my life playing under those lights on Friday nights.
Right. Sounds good. How much do you follow Seneca Valley football right now? Do you talk to any of the kids that are currently playing on the team? Do you keep up with it, in the Washington Post or the Gazette? How much are you either involved or how much do you keep up with it out there in school?
Oh, I mean, I believe green and gold for life. I'm a Screaming Eagle for life. I mean, I still currently have a relationship with all the coaches. I still currently speak to players up there, when I come home for breaks.
Right.
I go up there and speak to the kids. This past summer, I had a clinic for the DBs, so I had DBs from Seneca Valley High School. I had some DBs from Marcus Mill, Northwest. I even had some DBs from Kennedy.
Right.
Come down, and we had it in the backyard at Seneca Valley High School on the practice field. And, I do stuff like that every summer when I come home. I make sure I give back, and I especially make sure I give back to, my school, Screaming Eagles. And, I go up there and talk to the kids, man, and basically share my experiences with them, hoping that it helps them with their future and their success on the field today.
Okay. That's great, man. And on a personal level, how's your season going over there in Morgan State? I know you guys have a lot of great expectations and everything like that. And, how's your season going personally and as team-wise?
I think the season is going better than our record. Right now we're 1-2 currently. We have a game Thursday night on ESPNU. Tune in.
Right.
Against North Carolina A&T.
Okay.
And we're definitely we're getting into conference play, and our expectations is basically to finish strong, undefeated for the rest of the season.
Right.
So I think things are going well, for us here at Morgan State University. As far as I play in the secondary, I think we're all doing a great job in the secondary, making plays and things like that.
Okay, man. Thanks for your time, and good luck with the rest of your season. Your passion for Seneca Valley is, easily heard when you talk, man, and that's great that you're so passionate about the county and about your school.
No questions. I just I'm gonna give another quick shout out to the 301 area. Give a quick shout out to all my players and students at Seneca Valley High School and also within the county. Y'all boys keep on pushing, work hard every day. Remember, there's one thing in life you can't buy, and that's time. So make sure every practice, every rep, you do it to the best of your ability. And the
Yes,
sky's
sir.
the limit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all boys keep on doing y'all thing out there.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Great words, man. I really appreciate everything. Great interview. And anytime you want to stop by or talk, man, just let me know. And, great having you on. And, good luck with the rest of your season.
Hey, I appreciate that. You do the same, man.
All right, no problem. Reighard here, starting quarterback for the Seneca Valley Screaming Eagles. Just talk about your 4-0 start, and also talk about the change of philosophy that Seneca has had on offense. Before Seneca was known for the ground and pound, but now when you go to Seneca games, you see a little bit of different style. You still see the ground and pound a little bit, but now it's more of a wide open spread attack. How's that helped you as a quarterback grow and progress, and how's that helped your team overall?
Games, such as Churchill Northwest, and I think it was a little close one there too. But we changed up the offense a little bit. It kind of benefits us. The defense doesn't really know how we're going to attack them. We can be in the power eye. We can spread you out. It definitely gives me more confidence as a quarterback that they have faith that we can spread the ball, throw it a little bit more.
Right.
And I think it benefits us. We can beat you in different ways.
Playing at a school like Seneca has a lot of great players that came through there, has a lot of championships. So talk about playing at a school like Seneca. Is there more pressure with the expectations, especially at the quarterback position? Is there more pressure or expectations? Do you feel that, or do you really even get into that at all? And if so, like, how do you deal with that?
Well, I personally love playing at Seneca Valley. It's a great tradition. My brother won state championship in 2002 at Seneca. My dad graduated in '86 at Seneca. My mom went there. My uncles went there. Everybody. My mom's a cheerleader. My uncle and dad play football. My brother played football.
Right.
It's a long tradition. Seneca has 12 state championships. Most in Maryland. I love it. Just all the tradition, all the coaches. Just I love every minute of it.
There's two guys that you have on your team that also try to kind of take the pressure off of you a little bit, and James Jones-Williams and Kevin Tewes-Joppy. Talk about those two guys real quick and how they help you out as a quarterback, knowing that you got two elite players like that on your team.
James definitely helps me out. Defense expects us to run the ball a lot. It's his senior year. He's a great running back, and he can definitely run it straight down your throat. And that opens up the pass game a little bit more, and I can get to the ball. He can get a lot of yards out of nothing. Just a little hitch route he can break down the sideline. So it's definitely a lethal offense.
Talk about the QO rivalry. Is it a real rivalry for you guys, or is it more one of those things where they're good, we're good, so let's get it on? Or is there real hate for each other when you guys go out there on the field? I know it's probably not like the King's Trophy, or it's probably not like Seneca versus Damascus, but is there like any like trash talk or anything like that for you guys?
Like you said, I don't think it's nearly as bad as Damascus or Northwest, but we are two good teams that play each other, and they've gotten the best of us the last couple of years, and we're trying to change that, get Seneca back on the right track where we used to be at the top.
Right.
I don't think there's hatred between any of us, but we're just two good teams that play each other.
Okay. They have great players over there, so do you. And just talk about how you guys are going to try to attack them and really try to expose their weaknesses.
Go right at their weaknesses that we found, and hopefully our defense can stop them on offense. And it's going to be a good game. Hopefully it goes our way.
They lost their quarterback for the season. Does that take any of the luster off of, if you guys do wind up beating them, does that take any luster off of it? Or
Well, I actually worked out with that quarterback all preseason, Mikey Mertzl, during the quarterback factory all summer.
Right.
And all winter and all summer, and it sucks for him, first off. And
right.
I hope he gets a quick recovery. But I don't think it takes anything away from if we do end up winning.
Right.
They have a great defense, and they still
Absolutely.
got a great offense.
Yep. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you calling in, and hopefully I can get you back on the show. And good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.
So you got Connor Frazier here. Damascus the great quarterback from Damascus from a few years ago, now at Towson University. So Connor, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Your former team has a big game this week versus Sherwood High School, something that you're very familiar with. What did you know about the Sherwood-Damascus rivalry before you got into Damascus?
Before I actually got into Damascus, I knew it was a huge rivalry because of my brother playing them in states in 2005 and beating them in the regular season that year also. And even my oldest brother, Greg, I remember when he was a senior in high school, they lost to Sherwood like 12-6 or something like that.
Right.
And I knew from then it was just a big rivalry. And then when I got in there, it was huge.
What is it like playing in that game? I know it's pretty intense and everything like that. What is it like actually playing in it, and what are the emotions like going through your mind, before game and during the game? And what is it like after you, because, you beat Sherwood, I believe, every single time you played them when you're in high school. So what is it like actually getting that victory and the intensity of the rivalry?
The whole rivalry is just real intense. Everybody's real pumped up for the game for the whole week. Like, everybody marks it on their calendar. This is Sherwood week, and everybody knows it's a big rivalry. Everybody comes to the game, huge crowds. It's crazy.
Right.
And to come out on top both times that I played them in high school is just huge. It's just one of the best feelings I've had, actually, because it's almost like a regular season state championship game.
How much trash talk goes into that game? I mean, I know you probably know a few of the kids real well, and I know there's a little bit back and forth going on. How much trash talk goes on before that game, man? And how much either hatred or respect do you guys have?
I know my junior year was a little more trash talk than senior year, just because of the whole Brian Lucas thing.
Right.
But
right.
There's a couple people who talk trash, but I think mostly we both respect each other as like two of the best teams in Montgomery County.
Right.
And even after the game, if we see people we know from the team outside of football, we're like friends because we're from Montgomery County. But when it comes to step on the field, we're enemies.
How many of the kids do you still keep in contact with? Do you still follow Damascus? Even though you're at school right now, and
I talk a little bit to Zach Bradshaw and like Andrew Nickel, sometimes Eric Magus.
Right.
Those are mainly the people that I know on the team that I talk to the most.
Right. And just finally, you're at Towson right now, so I know there's a few MoCo kids. How much of how much trash talk do you guys have amongst each other about how your former teams are doing, how your high schools are doing, and everything like that? Are there?
Yeah, I think we have about 12 kids from Montgomery County or something like that, and 2 coaches. But I remember last week a kid from Northwest and a kid from Seneca were talking about the rivalry they have in Germantown. And so there's always those little trash talks in the locker room and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all friends.
Right. Well, thanks, man, for stopping by, and good luck with the rest of your season, man, and hope the best. I have a brother that plays for Towson, so I'm always rooting for you guys, and and definitely anytime you want to stop by and talk, call in.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, we're here with Fitz Mofor again for the second time on the show. Thanks, Fitz, for coming back. And we got a big game this week, versus Damascus. You guys went on a little roll, won 3 straight after the loss to QO. How you guys feeling right now? How you feeling going into the Damascus week?
We feel extremely confident, and we feel like we have a chance to beat them. They're a little bit similar to it because they run the same exact defense. Almost identical offense. Under legends fans, but we feel pretty confident in our ability to come out with a W Friday night.
After the loss to QO, what was the main focus for you guys to fix, and what did you guys fix for you guys to really go on the run that you guys did the past 3 weeks?
It was a humbling experience. For one, it was actually good for us, we kind of saw what our strengths and our weaknesses, and we actually saw that we're a competitive team and we get to probably go far. Because at one point in the game, we almost like we were going to take the lead, but we made some mistakes here and there. Because they were beating us 14-0 in the first quarter, and we came back 12-0, and we had the ball on a 25, and we fumbled. But so far we just worked on limiting mistakes and trying to and improving our offense. Our defense looked pretty good, but limiting big plays, we got a couple of big plays too.
So, going into this game, how much do you know about, last year you guys actually beat the Damascus for the first time in a while. How much are you aware of the rivalry between the two schools, Damascus and Sherwood?
Well, I think now I don't think it's as strong as how it used to be a couple of years back. Now it's more just 2 good teams playing each other. I don't really see as much as hatred I have a couple friends on that team. Yeah, that's how Gary now and ever is. Now it's just more two big teams or two real good teams. I wouldn't call it a hatred anymore.
Setting up for you guys, you know that the great Al Thomas is over there and everything like that. How you guys are planning on attacking Damascus?
They lock us in the defense and attack them on offense, going straight at them. Power O. They spread it out a little bit. Same with nothing new, same thing. What we usually do. Not gonna say too much.
Right. And talk about your good friend Moses Vines. He's really been balling out, but he hasn't really gotten a lot of press that some of the other backs have from other teams. Like, talk about him for a second, and talk about what he's been doing.
I think Moses is a great running back, great big physical running back that can definitely play at the next level. Maybe Division I. I said the reason why he doesn't get much press and pub as other running backs because he didn't play last year. He didn't get that much time last year.
Right.
He was like Fernando's backup, but this year he's a new guy. You know what I'm saying? He's so far he has like 400 yards rushing, and he doesn't really get that many touches. He had like 3 or 4 running backs on the team, so like he probably gets like 10 to 12 touches a game. So like imagine if he got 20, 25, it'd be a lot more. I think this potential up in Luke's. It's like 5'10", like 205. And I heard he ran a 4.4 at the Ohio State Combine, so I think he has potential to go Division I. And I think this Friday is going to be coming out game ball. You know what I'm saying? He's going to show people that he really run the rock. He's going to open a lot of eyes. A lot of people going to see. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'm not going to hold you up too long, and good luck to you guys. And I'm going to be out there, and I'm expecting a great game.